when do you think is the right time to actually start networking in the college life? I mean, as far as going back to freshman year, or should we start kind of in the middle, sophomore, junior? And what kind of like aspects and what challenges should we expect from doing that?
You should start the first day you walk on campus, which is hard because you don't know anything or anybody. As you
Yeah.
know, it's like you walk in, you're like, oh my God, this is huge. Like you're like, I gotta run to class. In high school, I could just stay in the same building. Like, but this is why I say that. Somebody told me this is one of my favorite sayings. Your network will determine your net worth. I have gotten so many opportunities from people that I've worked with, that I've kept in contact with. Your professors have definitely done with, and they have networking opportunities. Ask them for internships, because we reach out to colleges, like companies reach out to colleges and professors, because, like, let's say one of your professors used to work at company A. Hey, we got an internship coming up. Let me ask him. He was good working here. Now he's molding young minds. Who does he think would be good working here? So let your professors know what you're interested in. Also, your group of friends. My group of friends my freshman year was not as good as it should have been. I'm not going to lie to you, as most of them did not graduate. By the time I became a junior, you had friends. I had friends that would be like, "Oh, we're going to the library. Meet us there."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a job fair. There's a job fair next week. Those are the type of friends that you should have around as you get older into your college experience. Not to mention, they're going to be in different industries than you, and if you keep in contact with them,
Mm-hmm.
that might be the way that you can change your career. Or people in your class, you can change your company because somebody else will be working somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
The people that you network with, keep in contact with, keep on LinkedIn, more professional. When you have and I'm not sure how it works in college, but because I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But I don't remember them saying, "Hey, we're having," for instance, right before COVID, I
Mm-hmm.
was going out probably 3 to 4 times a week, maybe not 2 to 3 times a week, because there was different networking events for recruitment in Atlanta. Like they were all over the city. There were times I've been working virtual this entire time since 2008. I met people that I had known for 5 or 6 years for the first time at these events. And then then you start talking to people, and then people are like saying, "Oh yeah, I've heard of you. Hey, we're doing such and such at the end of the year. Would you be interested?" Those things happen. If you do your job well, people will remember that.
Okay.
I get calls and emails probably 2 to 3 times a week from people that I've worked with before. Hey, are you interested in coming here? And it's always worth a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But the people you network with, are they going to these things? Are they getting A's on tests, A's and B's, things of that nature? You will know. You can kind of tell because they're the ones that are happy on test day.
Mhm.
When you get them back, or
Right.
they're confident, like they know they got this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those, I'm telling you, like they will be in your industry, and maybe you can help them out. Maybe they can help you out. But keeping in contact with people like that, I'm telling you, will help you drastically.
Now, when you get to that interview process and with all the networking and stuff, what? Because I had several interviews within the past couple of months, and I just want to know what questions are not the questions to be asking during the interview. Because I ask a lot of questions, and then sometimes afterwards I think, am I asking too many questions, or am I asking the right amount of questions, or like the right questions in general? So.
Okay, so the biggest mistake you can make is not asking any questions.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest, because now I don't think that you're interested.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. There are 3 questions you're going to get every interview. Number one, it's going to be the first 1 or 2 questions. Tell me about yourself. Second question, and this will be in the first 5 questions. What do you know about this company? The
Hmm.
very last question we're going to ask is, do you have any questions for us? The only wrong question is no. Also, never ask about money. Let them bring it up. No,
No.
let them bring it up.
Right.
Okay.
Because number one, if we
Hmm.
get to a certain part and I ask you about money as a recruiter, I'm interested. And you will not know that yet.
Hmm.
Okay.
Never bring up money.
Okay.
but ask questions like, what will be my placement within this organization? Ask all those types of questions. Ask questions about, a good question to ask is, how did this position open? Is this a new position, or am I replacing somebody? They say it's a new position, kind of dead right there. But if you're replacing somebody, did they get promoted, or did they get let go, or did they leave? If they got let go, what did they do? What duties were they doing that they weren't performing high enough? If they got promoted, oh, how long did it take for them to get promoted? Now you want them to think that I'm thinking about you long term.
Yep.
This is not just a position. I'm looking for a career.
So you said it's dead when there's a new position.
Because there's nothing else to ask. Because if it's a new position, I can't say, well, what are you looking? They don't know yet. Because if you get the job, you're going to define that position.
Okay. Yeah. I got you.
Now, would you have any insight on like the success rate for college students receiving like a company job right out of college, or like the ratio of like how many internships college students invest in actually puts forth a position into their adult career or after college career?
That's an excellent question. Right now, it is extremely high because you had a lot of people retire because of COVID or just left the company and went somewhere else.
Okay.
There are a lot of entry level to what I call mid-entry level, which are right up, like entry level could be somebody with a college degree or somebody with a high school diploma. And then the little bit higher mid-level, they're looking at least for a BA or BS.
Okay.
There are a lot of those, and a lot of companies are taking internships way more seriously. They're investing in you. They're giving you the 6 to 8 weeks. Even if you did it this summer, they would want you to come back next summer.
Yep.
If this is your senior year and you're doing an internship this summer, they want to roll you into a position. So this is a time, but get an internship in something that you're passionate about. Research that company. Research where they live. Like, for instance, a lot of internships this year are still virtual. A lot of them. A lot of people are not on site because of COVID and COVID protocols. But coming up, there'll be internships where they'll fly you to wherever they want you to be. I tell people, I understand people taking internships close, but research the company. Is this company based somewhere where I can grow with the company where I want to move? Because if you don't want to stay exactly where you're at, I think you said you're in Indiana, correct?
Right.
If you don't want to live there because you take an internship with a company and that's their only office, then that internship is not going to help you in the future. It will help you boost up your resume,
Right.
but if you're trying to roll into a position, it's not going to help if you don't want to live there.
Okay. So, I was just saying, when you get to that interview process with the two internships, there's always a question that really I get stuck with, and the question is when they ask you, "Oh, is there any other company that you're applying for?"
Say yes.
I don't. Just say yes. Yeah.
And this is why.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a little bit above the other interns, because if they like you, we need to move faster. Because now you're interviewing for more than one position. All in that situation, if you are, and this is the other thing, because this, oh my God, this gets on my nerves. Let me know up front. Like, I'm interviewing for other positions. You can say I'm not comfortable telling you other places I'm interviewing, but I am interviewing for other positions. You can definitely say, if you don't feel comfortable saying exactly company A, B, C, D, you don't have to do that. Just say yes. Now, the reason we ask that is to say, okay, do I have to move faster with this person, or can I do another 3 or 4 interviews with other people? Or how many interviews can I get? Like, do I need to interview him? Like, if the interview has 3 to 4 different interviews, I'm gonna try to schedule them in one day or that week versus one interview a week, which sometimes they do. You always say yes. And then just keep in contact with your recruiter or whoever your point of contact is. It'll more than likely be your recruiter. Hey, such and such just made me an offer. Am I being considered for this? Because then as a recruiter, I'm going to go back to the hiring manager. Hey, Desmond just got an offer with company ABC. We need to move on him right now if we're interested. But that's one thing that you always have control over. Like if you're interviewing other places, always say yes.
Now, with like due to COVID, I heard you speak about like some people internships are in their office and some are actually virtual. Now, how would you determine which one of those, if you had two positions, one was online and one was actually in person, which one would you say that would give you the most experience? I know there's downfalls to being online and only being virtual, not being able to do hands-on things with your other coworkers, but there's also takeaways from that you can actually engage in and can kind of branch you out. So which route would you say would be best, or which one would you say would kind of like suit you?
Good question. It depends on what you're doing. And I say this, like there are certain positions, like for instance, if you're in IT and your help desk, you more than likely have to be on site. There are certain positions you just have to be on site no matter what. People think virtual hurts. It does not hurt as much as people think it is as long as you're doing your job. If you're proficient at your job, virtual does not hurt at all. But even if you're lazy and you're on site, they're still going to know that you're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be able to see it. So virtual does not hurt. Just answer IMs, answer emails as fast as possible. If you have questions, ask them. They'll know that you're working on whatever. Because if you get an internship, more than likely you're going to be given a project. Now, when you get that project, from that project on, that's what they're going to look at, and that's what you're going to get graded on. So as long as you're keeping up with your project, keeping up with the dates you need to get certain pieces of it done, you're still looked at as a good potential permanent candidate.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the experience and everything, like say you're just trying to get experience for the workforce, like you're in college and you're in internship, you got say a marketing position that's virtual, and you got a management trainee position that's really in person. Which one do you think? Say the person was a business major. Which one do you think would be the most like important position to boost your resume for the future for when you graduate?
It depends on what you want to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It also depends on which company is based in the area that you're going to want to live in the future. You're going to take all of those things in consideration because a lot of internships are trying to roll you over into a permanent position as long as you do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So if that person wants to be in marketing, that marketing one is going to be better.
Okay.
If that's what they see themselves doing in the future. But it really is which company, like certain companies, as you know, just their names ring out louder than other companies.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on the company too, because there are companies which I'll look at a resume and be like, oh, okay, I'm interested in that person.
Okay.
They are just industry leaders in everything that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm looking for somebody, if they have an industry leader on their resume, of course I'm going to reach out to them a little bit faster than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it literally depends on what you want to do in the future. And then of course the research.
Mm-hmm.
What does each position entail that you need to do? Because if you're sitting around just, and this is sad, but this happens sometimes, getting coffee and answering questions, even though it says a marketing position,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing photocopies, or the same thing with management. You're just in some of the meetings, buying lunch, doing stuff like that, doing grunt work. You didn't learn anything either way.
Mm-hmm.
So your resume might look better, but you don't know anything.
Right.
Like you not that you know anything. You didn't learn anything for the internship. So ask specific questions. What will I need to do to be good at this internship? Or is there a project? What will I be working on?
Now, what do you think when it comes to the interview process? How do you wrap up the interview, especially when they ask that question? Do you have any more questions for us? But you already got your questions already answered. Like, what's the best phrase for you? What you can say to that?
Always ask at least one question. How about go in there with a list of questions? Most interviews still aren't face to face, so you can have them written down next to your computer. If you're on the phone, just have them written in front of you.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm talking about at the end. You know, like when you already
oh,
asked.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After you've already asked your questions, or they've already answered your questions.
Well, they already answered all your questions.
Oh, just say, this is how you wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
What are the next steps in this interviewing process?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now they're going to have to tell you everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, then it's like, okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you need to know from me?
Mhm.
But ask, what are next steps? That's the last question you should always ask. What are the next steps in this interviewing process?
Okay. And like basically another would like how long until you get back with me is another good question. Or
Yes, because when you say what are next steps, it's not. So how you ask it is in a certain situations. Well, I'm interviewing for other positions also. When will I be hearing back if I'm a candidate, or things of that nature, or how long is the process? Because if people ask this to me all the time, when are they trying to hire for this position? The hiring managers want somebody hired yesterday, but that doesn't mean they're going to move that fast.
Mhm.
So I always tell them when they ask, like, what is the timetable looking to fill this position? It's always ASAP, but we're looking for the right person.
right.
But if you're asking when will be my next interview, you can always ask what is the timetable they're looking, because internships are really fast. We have to find somebody really quickly so we can make sure IT gets their information so they can get in and out of the building or get in and out of their computer. That is something that takes a lot of time and people don't realize that. But you can also say what are the next steps in the process and when can when will I be hearing back? Either way. And get your question answered and let them know that you're still interested in moving forward also.
Okay. Now, when it comes to that, do you think your resume, it's kind of off topic, not really what we're talking about, but do you think your resume should be one page or coming out of college, of course, or multiple pages? Because I have a lot of references here in college that's saying that your resume should only be one page long, no matter how many things you've been doing in the past. So I'm wondering, like, is that true?
Yes, for coming out of college, your resume should be one page.
Okay.
Even if you have to condense it. But yeah, your resume should be one page coming out of college. Unless you're working for the government and that's a completely different resume. It almost reads like a book. But if you're not doing a government job, it should be one page. So in that situation, if you've had a lot of experience, look at the jobs that most closely relate to the position that you're looking for and make a like people should have more than one resume.
Mhm.
You should not just have one resume.
Just different copy, like different things on the resume, or like worded different, or
Oh no, I have different positions. Like I have a resume if I ever want to go back into retail, which I hope I never do. But I have a retail resume
Mhm.
that reads specifically retail management, logistics management, things that I've done. But then I have a HR resume, which is long because I've done a lot of things in HR, but they're looking for that. But I've gotten it down to like a page and a half, 2 pages, which still is a lot when I've had so much experience. But for people should have more than one resume. Just pick and choose the jobs that when you're looking at a job, they have the job description.
Mhm.
Look at the things that the job wants you to do, and then look back at the jobs that you've done and put the jobs on your resume that most closely match that job.
yeah, I need to wait till I get more experience though, because of internships and everything. Because my previous job was coaching. You know what I'm saying? And then this job that I'm gonna get this summer is gonna be in the either marketing or management field. So it's totally different. It's totally different things. You know what I'm saying? Like
So
my
you know,
recent one would be more applicable to like sports management, like a sports management field. But this internship that I'm getting in the summer is more like management and marketing field.
but
So
see
yeah.
that coaching can work towards your the management
Hmm.
because you manage people, you manage things, you manage time, things that you have to do in management. So that coaching job, if you decide when you get out of college to go into management,
Right.
keep the coaching job on there, on that resume, because that would definitely help you.
Now, for students that like have like a CJ program, like are in like CJ or like psychology, those kind of things for their resumes, I know there's not a lot of like jobs before you get into college that you can really break down into those categories. So it's kind of a little bit harder to like make those resumes that are just for like your where you want to go or how you are. Because me, I've worked in a lot of management spots. I've worked in training. I've worked in stuff like that. So how would that apply to where I'm actually trying to go with within my CJ major.
CJ is criminal justice, correct?
Yes, criminal justice.
Do you have any projects that you've done since you've been in school under your major?
Like big projects or like class projects?
Class projects.
Yes, we've done like serial killer projects, stuff like that.
Then you outline those in your resume.
Okay.
You can outline, and then again, the projects that you've done that most closely go with the position that you're looking for.
Okay.
So in that situation, you outline the projects that you've done.
Okay, and it is okay for those, even though they're like small little projects, it's good to have those in there. Like, you know, if you're engaged in an organization that's represented around criminal justice, and if you're involved in like going around speaking to schools about, you know, violence in schools and stuff like that, is good to have on your resume as well.
Yes, anything that you think would link to the position that you're looking for, that links you directly. Like coming out of college, you have to show them I'm a good bet.
Mm-hmm.
We're betting on you because you don't have any other like experience because you were in college. You chose to go to college instead of going straight to the workforce.
Okay.
So we don't know your work ethic. We know you can write papers. We know you can take tests. We don't know if you can do what we actually need you to do here. So if you say, well, I did this, this, and this, I had this project, I did this project, and I did this project. Oh, she can work on projects.
Mm-hmm.
Or she can do this, or she already has a mind for this. So projects like that will definitely help if you don't have any actual work experience, because that's the only thing you have right now.
Yep.
I got one question about
Okay.
Is there something that somebody would think would be important that you say you're in the HR field? Do you see stuff on resumes that are just like, this is not even important, but like somebody would think that it would be important?
Okay, I need you to look up, and you can look it up online, strong action verbs. Like, I'm so tired of seeing I'm hardworking. Nobody's going to put on their resume that they're lazy. Like, hardworking doesn't matter. Yeah, like when you read your resume, whatever verbs you have, replace them with, like, just look up strong action verbs. Instead of led a team, I managed a team. Like, that's when people need to switch immediately. I managed. Like, just things like that. You look up strong action verbs, you can definitely see. And it makes your resume pop. But please quit putting I'm hardworking. I'm so tired of seeing that on resumes. I am. I'm so tired of seeing that on resumes. Yeah. But any strong action verb will help your resume pop. Also, another thing that you should do, look at the job description. Literally, line by line, if you've done it, copy and paste that and put it on your resume under a job that you've done it at. If you've done it, because you have to be able to speak to it. Yeah. But literally, copy and paste that line, put it in your resume.
Here's another just a fun question. How you like, because when I had my offer for my internship over the summer, it was calling all my previous jobs to verify my resume is actually, legit and verified. How many people have you ever came across people that lied on their resume when you try to call their previous workplace, but it turns out that it never existed or they didn't actually work there?
I was working and ran across my resume with somebody else's name on it. My exact resume, word for word.
You came across your resume, somebody else had it?
Somebody took my resume off LinkedIn and put their name at the top.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Is there any way like you can detect that earlier within the interview or hiring process, or is it just like something you got? It's like a hit or miss. Like it's just
when you make that call, you'll know. But understand, especially the higher you go up, people will call because it's important. Are you a liar or are you the person you say you are?
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely important.
And they can fire you. Really, if they find that out later on.
Yeah.
Isn't it
right there?
If they find out later on that you was lying and you already got the position, they could just...
you can still be fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely fraud. So,
all right, man. Yeah. We got something to do at 8:00. So
all right, perfect. So thank you so much for your time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, no problem. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me.
Okay.
And thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you guys later.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll see you later.
All
Thank
right, man.
you.
Talk to
Have a good one.